The 31st of May, a massive Contender series taking place again on Combat Sports League. We're returning with that Contender show, but also returning on that card is the prodigal son. And I say prodigal son very lightly, but the man himself, Clarts, is here joining me in what will be a very unfiltered interview, I'd say, a conversation. I say prodigal son, I say return of the Mac, all the sort of superlatives you can talk about. But you're finally back, Aman. Finally back where you've always wanted to be, boxing, doing your thing that you love. How does it feel now that you're sort of in that process, you're in training camp, and the fight is not long to go?
Feels real. That's as real as I can keep it. I know it sounds ironic, but, the training, the blood, the sweat, the tears, I'm putting everything into this, and I'm getting pushed to limits that I didn't know myself that I could push. A lot of sacrifice has gone into this camp, and I'm excited, Sani, man. I promise you, people talk about nerves. I can't wait to get under them bright lights because I love it. I love it, man.
No, of course. And a lot of people are looking forward to your return, not only in your hometown of Crawley, but also people that you've come across on social media, people within the fight community as well. You're definitely someone that has that clout, but in a positive way. Does that not concern you, that pressure going into a fight like this?
I love pressure, man. And if you've seen, I put pressure on myself because, to be great at something, you have to, in your mind, see yourself on a level above everyone else. That's not egotistical. You have to be delusional, really and truly. Anyone great at anything they do, they're a tad bit delusional. And me, I believe, I speak what's in my mind. I'm not afraid to do it because I believe that much in myself that I will go out there and execute what I've said. So, it's all good, speaking things, but, bringing it into existence, that's the difficult bit. And if I do that come May 31st, like I said earlier, what can everyone say now?
That's true. You'll be silencing a lot of people, but let's talk about, the past. I don't want to obviously delve too much, but, you're speaking about, let's say Crawley, for example, your upbringing. What was it like growing up in Crawley, for example?
Crawley was a good place, especially whilst growing up. Secondary school was a little bit tougher.
Why was that?
Secondary school was a bit tougher because my secondary school was quite big. I think they had like 2,000 to 3,000 kids.
Wow,
yeah, so it was a massive, massive secondary school. Plus you got sixth form in there as well. So, at that young age, so I think around about year 8, the first time, I started getting involved in, degeneracy, I'd like to call it. Rap culture, drill, fresh at that young age, just started chilling around with wrong uns, getting excluded, small things, behavior issues. But honestly, I come from a very good family. Couldn't have asked for a better mother and father who've supported me through whatever I've wanted to do, whatever I will do in the future. So, I feel like environment was a little bit tougher in secondary school.
Mm-hmm. And then when you went sixth form after that, how was it there? Was it sort of similar?
Sixth form completely different. Sixth form is when I took boxing quite seriously. That's when I started competing. So I'm born in July, so I was still 16 at the time in my first year, then 17, then 18. So I was competing throughout. Second year of sixth form is when lockdown happened. So when that happened, everything really and truly for my life just shifted to the opposite side.
And that's where the change happened, because we're going to get into that, lockdown. We were speaking off air about how you had a very promising amateur career. COVID happened and everything changed. What happened?
Sani, when I tell you, I was reaching heights that I didn't know myself, that a defeat could teach me. So I remember it was September 2019, yeah? And I boxed on a home show in Crawley. And I got robbed on my own home show, yeah? I boxed the lad's face off and ended up going to him. And my coach, very well respected across the whole UK, Paddy Harmy, 86 years of age, 89 now, yeah? He was genuinely disappointed in me that I didn't go out there and stop that lad in the amateurs. In my sixth fight, it was my last fight, yeah? I've only had 6 amateur bouts, by the way.
And what's your record, by the way?
People think, so I was half and half, break even. Lost my first 3 fights and then, went on to a nice streak. But the last one, so I think 3 and 4, you can say. But, Amateurs I found very difficult because my strengths was defense. I was a very well defensively structured fighter. I've never been caught clean with a right hand, and I've never ever been dropped or given a standing 8 count. You go across up and down the country, you find me another fighter that's not been hit or that's done. Defense was my thing, Sonny. It came naturally to me. I've always looked up to, and studied hours after hours, Floyd Mayweather, the Philly Shell, Pernell Whitaker, that lateral movement. I loved it. The only thing that let me down in the amateurs was offense. Hence why I took the decision to come down to Evolution Gym, because you look at their fighters offensively.
Yeah.
No one's talking to any of them. So, but that's what happens with maturity, growing up. You become a little wiser. I know what holes I have in my game, so I've come here to fix that and fill them in, and turn my weakness into a strength, and which I feel like, alhamdulillah, I'm doing that at that gym.
Definitely. I mean, you can either stand still or you'll see evolution pass you by. So, you're at the right sort of gym, I think. I agree with you, for that to sort of happen, become that bit more balanced fighter.
Discipline.
Discipline is key.
I've lacked it. And you know what? If one thing I'll tell you for the past 4 or 5 years since I've been out the ring, discipline. I've lacked it. You could say, and even as a kid, I was told you got so much talent. I was sparring national champions 2 times, 3 times, 4-time national champions, traveller kids coming from God knows where to the gym, bro. And I was boxing them, lighting them up. You understand? My training partner as a kid, Solomon Mirza, 2-time, 2-division Southern Counties champion. And now I think he's 4 or 5-0 Asian champion, currently professional. I did over 300, 400 rounds with Solomon, and he made me such a good, well-rounded technical fighter. After rounds of battering me. The guy's been boxing since he was 10. I only started properly when I was, 16. Although I've been in the gym since 14, competition-wise, I only started properly at 16. That's when I got carded. So, fighting people like that genuinely brought me up to an even higher level compared to other people. That's why when things like, as a young kid, I was told you got so much talent, you can do X, Y, and Z, you can go on to do X, But the hard work aspect was something that I was always lacking. And I can't tell you why. I don't know why I didn't. I was putting hours in the gym, but outside the gym I wasn't doing my rounds, I wasn't doing that. Coming here, whole different ball game. Because it's not even if you want to do it, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there's like a brotherhood feeling. I don't feel, even my first session, Sani, I was struggling. Yeah? Man to man, I was struggling. Because I put on so much excess body weight. And people that have, ballooned up can tell you, when you go into a gym, boxing's a whole different thing. You understand? When you put the extra weight on your thighs, you fucking feel it. Because I used to move, at 64 kg.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I could move like you'd think I'm Muhammad Ali, mate, moving around doing, I'm not claiming I'm Muhammad Ali, but you know what I'm saying? I could move. When the weight got put on, I couldn't move. I couldn't, I struggled. The fitness side of it, gassing out so quickly. The most difficult thing was, in sparring, I could see shots. I couldn't react, my body couldn't react to it though, because of the weight. And, seeing him walking now, Zay Combat will tell you, the first week I came in, I was getting lit up by everyone. Because, and the thing was this, the coach saw it though, Shaz saw it, he goes, I know you can see the shots, but you're struggling to react. And it's that excess weight, that body weight. And this is why it's so important to stay in shape. That's the first lesson I learned. When I stepped into Evolution Boxing Gym, fitness is really important. Because the level of intensity these guys train at, like my partner in crime said earlier, it ain't no joke. It's no joke. I was gone. Barely able to stand on my feet at the end of the first session, But I just don't have it in me to quit, unfortunately. I'd rather be rendered unconscious. And a lot of people say it, Sani. I said it earlier regarding taking that John Duty fight. A lot of people talk, I fight anyone, anywhere, anytime, yeah? But doing it is completely different. I fear no man. Whether that comes from my faith in the one above, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or whether that comes from just not having that fear of anyone or anything. Since a kid, I always looked for the biggest and tallest guys, bro. I'm not saying I fucking beat them.
But you went for it.
But I went for it. Because in my mind, I don't know why, but there was this disease. I just couldn't be called a pussy. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it was there. But that's why I got in trouble a lot as well. My own mother will tell you. I just can't be called a pussy. It just does something to me. I will make sure you walk away thinking that fucking kid's got balls. He's got fucking balls.
It's a mentality thing, and I think that obviously stems, I'd say, a little bit from your family in terms of, you come from a family of fighters as well. There's boxers in your family. CSL Ali, the promoter, his dad, for example.
Yeah.
Amateur legend.
People don't know. Southern Counties champion. Boxing the nationals multiple times. They don't know. They don't know pops like that. Trust me.
They don't know, but they need to know because this is pedigree, this is legacy. You're just continuing it now onto the next stage. You've got big aspirations, Clarts. You're talking about, obviously, you're not looking past this fight against John Duty on May 31st because that's a big fight, but you're talking bigger, the bigger picture, the bigger vision. And that's what I like about you. What is the bigger vision, though, for those of the people out there that are watching?
Since a kid, Tony, every kid's got the dream of, becoming a world champion, becoming this, doing something, selling out arenas, yeah? Now, I'm not delusional to the point where I'm going to be telling people, I'm going to fucking do that, yeah? I've got a long way to go, Sonny. I can't tell you where I'm going to end up, but I know the route I'm going to take. 2 fights I've got with CSL, then I'm going to put my head down 2 years in the amateur game, yeah? If I can win something, win a couple titles, national titles, represent England, that's my goal in the amateur scene, yeah? That's what I'm going to be. I'm not going to be sitting here telling you I'm going to become a world champion at 30 because, number one, it's very unlikely because I need to put in a lot of work for that. And I don't know what the future holds. You've asked me a couple times earlier, off camera, what made me get back into, what made me do this company.
Definitely. Especially now as well, because you've had that layoff after COVID.
My grandfather passed away in December due to cancer.
Sorry to hear.
He got diagnosed in October and left in December. I've never ever lost someone close to me in my life. I've never lost someone close to me. And he was disabled. And I took a lot of care of my grandfather, And he had a stroke as well. And then lung cancer is what at the end took him. But for 20 years with a stroke, left side gone. He's the only man I know who used to get up every morning, make himself breakfast, wash his own plate. And that's that mentality of a warrior, of a man. And he was unable to, clean himself and stuff. So I used to always, since a kid I've been doing that, looking after my grandfather. And he used to always give me du'as. He used to always have a prayer for me. And I used to always ask him, make dua that I do good in boxing and whatnot. When he left, I took life as a joke, I'll be honest, before, yeah? I took everything unseriously. I didn't give a fuck. I had a very, very degenerate lifestyle. I got involved in so many degenerate activities. When my grandfather left me, everything's, sunk in. And I looked in the mirror and I said, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? Sitting on TikTok live, TikTok posts. That's not, if you spoke to me when I was 17 in the amateurs year and you said to me at 22 years old, you'd be doing fuck all, I'd laugh in your face. I'd laugh in your face, genuinely. Because the trajectory that I was at 17, I was destined for great things. And who's to blame? Only myself. Going to uni, indulging in so many different activities, wasting time, bed rotting, Lockdown 1, I entered lockdown at 64 kg. End of lockdown 1, I was 90 kilos. 90 kilos.
Wow.
And I'm not going to blame it on anything like, I was depressed and, this. I was, but I should have dealt with it, For me, but, one thing I realised coming to Coventry and training out of Evolution Gym is I've always needed that environment to bring it out of me. And I've got that over here. Brotherhood, acceptance, and there's love. But when we get to work, it's war. We shed blood. You understand? We look to tear each other apart because we train hard so we can fight easy. That's the mentality. And I'm around brothers that think like me. We want war. We won't back down. If you're hurt, you fucking, you pull through it. Again, fighting mentality that a lot of people talk about, but when it really comes down to it, do they have it? I know I have it because I found out I have it. when I got nothing left in the tank. I'm out of shape. I'm fat, balloon. And I've got a fucking elite Midlands champion, Jay Marley, coming at me, ripping me to the body. Did I think of quitting? Of course it came into my mind. Did I quit? No, because I don't have it in me to. I took the shots and I tried to give it back. Getting into shape now, the shots are flowing, I'm feeling amazing. And knowing I can do that at my worst, pull through that. With all due respect, who's John Duty to me? A man with 200 fights, couple knockouts, but he's a white collar fighter. Do you know what I mean? When you think of fighting, you think of technique, boxing, the sweet science. I'm not a brawler, I'm not flat-footed. It's never been my game. But it's exciting, isn't it? Because one shot can change it.
Changes everything.
And I'm not going to deny that. That guy can fucking bang. And it's scary. I sent footage of John to my mum. My mum goes, pull out. My mum goes, pull out. I go to her, I can't. You know I can't. She goes, best of luck. But I'm excited. This means a lot to me, you know. And going back to my original point, why I started, you know, after my grandfather left, I really sunk in, what am I doing with my life? I'm literally wasting it. And I don't want to ever be that guy that speaks to youngers and goes, oh, I could have been a boxer and I could have done this and I could have done that. You know them uncles. Oh yeah, cricket, I could have done this, that. But in reality, you know, they didn't do shit.
They didn't try hard.
So, and if my kid ever comes up to me and goes, I'm struggling in life, with what face can I look at him and go, you know, go make your dreams come true?
You need to be the example.
I've got to be exactly. I've got a younger brother, you understand?
He looks up to you.
Exactly.
And he wants to see that. No,
I'm the eldest in my family, Sonny. You know, across both sides.
You'll always be the example. You'll always be the example.
It's been that way. Pressure. You spoke about it. Pressure. That's pressure. Being the eldest in your family. Trying to achieve something, trying to do something. If you fuck up, then your whole entire family, the whole community, you're going to be like, oh, look at his son. You know, that's pressure. Not, oh, if you lose a fight, oh, what? People are going to talk about it for a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, a week, 2 weeks, a month. I'm not fucking that important, bro. People forget Tyson Fury had a tough fight against that British champion in his 7th fight that he lost. People forget that. That's Tyson Fury. We're talking about one of the greatest heavyweights of this generation. So if I lose, if I get dropped, if I get knocked out, realistically, who cares? No, everyone's going to forget. I'm not that important. And that's one thing I learned in life. You're not that important for people to really give a shit about.
No, definitely life goes on. I do want to say, you know, God rest, you know, your granddad's soul, obviously. Sounds like a great man. I could tell, you know, you were, you know, getting quite emotional there, and you could tell that he obviously meant a lot to you, and all those lessons and all those sort of, you know, values he's passed on to you, and hopefully, you know, that shines through in this fight and beyond. But, you know, I do want to say before we sort of go, this obviously means a lot to you. We can see how much you've put into this camp, how much you've trained, how much you've sacrificed as well. And hopefully long may this continue, because I think you're in, you know, people say you're the product of your environment, and the environment you're in right now seems like is ideal for you, where you want to be going. Come 31st of May, win or lose or even draw, do we see the real Clarts come 31st of May?
100%. Because, like I said to you, Sani, adversity. The ring rust is going to be there. I'm not delusional. Yeah, I know it's going to be there. And I'm going to be nervous. I'm against a fucking... You've seen him, mate. He's fucking big. He's scary, him. Yeah? It's going to... I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to fucking shit myself when I see him in the ring. But I know what I am. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be scared to fucking walk out the ring or be, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to run away from the fight. You know, if he wants to stand and bang, I promise you, Sonny, I'm the type of guy I will stand and bang. Because my mentality is, I will beat you at what you're good at. And I know if it comes to it, if we're there toe-to-toe, exchanging punches inside, I know I will get the better of him. Because I know I've got the speed, I've got the intelligence, I've got the IQ, you know, the power. I can really hurt this man.
Definitely.
And I know when I was talking to him, he knew it was real.
You can tell the intensity between you two.
Because the eyes don't lie, Sonny. The eyes don't lie. And I feel like that fight against John Duty will be a test of my heart, and discipline. Because for 3 rounds, I've got to be switched on. Because if I switch off for one moment in that fight, he's like a Deontay Wilder, isn't it? One shot and I'm out. You know, because People don't understand that it's not even my weight. You know what I mean? But I accepted the fight. I want the fight. I think it's a very winnable fight for me. I feel like technically I'm way ahead of him. And therefore, the idea of losing, it doesn't exist in my head. It genuinely doesn't, Sani. I'm very confident. And come May 31st, I believe I have what it takes. I have the tools to display a really disciplined performance against John Duty. Whether that means a stoppage, whether that means a masterclass, I can't tell you, because on the night, I'm not like these other fighters where I spend hours just, watching my opponent.
Yeah.
I saw a couple clips of him, yeah? Genuinely, I saw a couple clips. I spoke to Raheem. I said, anyone, anywhere, anytime. I haven't looked at John Duty's clips since. I promise you. I don't study my opponent, because the way I fight, I know it's me. I have the intelligence to read my opponent. I can make adjustments within, okay? And I just got to stay calm. Why am I going to stress myself out by studying everything he does? I don't need to do that. I'll see the openings on the night and I'll pick my shots, and I will be victorious no matter what. And like I said in the face-to-face, gloves are off. I will win, and I will do whatever it takes to get that win. Trust me.
There you have it, ladies and gents. Clarts, I'm anticipating an absolute great return. So are you guys. The highly anticipated return of Clarts, May 31st against John Duty. You don't want to miss this one. Thank you, Clarts.